Okay, so this is my chat client. And first I import all the things I need to import. And then I check the length of the arguments entered on the command line. If they don't, like the user didn't enter a second argument, which would be the port number in that case, the port 6001 is used, otherwise the entered port number is used, whatever that argument was. I create the client socket and try to connect to the port number, create a socket list for all of the sockets as well as the usable sockets that are ready. Then we iterate in if the socket we are on while iterating through is the client, we receive the data and print it unless there is no data, and then we just exit. And then if it is not the client socket, we read in a message from standard input and then send that message encoded from the client, and then we finally exit. And now I'll go to the chat server, and I import the same things. And first I create two lists, one for the sockets, the other for the usernames. And then I again determine the port number from the arguments or lack thereof. I create the server socket, I bind it to the port number, and then listen. Again, I have an array for the usable ready sockets and iterate through that. If we are on the server socket, if we're on the server socket, we accept the connection and add it to the socket list. Otherwise, we receive the data and use get peer name method to get the usernames, which we store in names. Else we send message, which I define down here, and we'll go over when we get there. I send message with the username attached to it so that we know who is sending the message. Then if the socket we're on is in the list, we then remove it, check exceptions, and close the server socket, because you always have to close it. And then here's the def send message. Send message checks if the socket we're iterating through is the server socket or the destination socket, and then sends the encoded message. And if the socket is in the socket list, then we remove it just like we did up there, and then we use the system.exit to exit the server just like we did on the other one. And that is it.